Hi, this is Chris, and this is my project for interactive art and computational design. For my project, I wrote a script that collects data regarding the login histories of all CMU students on our distributed file server AFS, or Andrew file server. This is done by using the nifty Unix command W, which, as you can see, shows all the people currently SSH'd into one of the 6 Unix machines. Typically, people will SSH in to do their homework because a lot of classes have some custom configurations that students would have a hard time setting up on their local computers. Because W shows us the foreground process of a user, we can analyze interesting data based on what the school is doing as a whole at a particular time or over the course of a time period. You might be wondering why I'm covering up part of my console, is so I can protect the Andrew IDs of the people currently SSH'd in currently. So, moving on, some of the limitations of my design lies in AFS's rules. Particularly, any background process that runs for too long will be immediately slain, so I cannot just simply run a background process in AFS that calls W every once in a while. With this in mind, I wrote a simple bash script that SSHs into one of the 6 unit machines and calls W and pipes back the results to my local console. So you can see here, it's going. Anytime now. There we go. And so now we have a simple script that goes into one of the Unix machines and outputs the W command. And now from there I wrote a Python script that calls a script every once in a while, once per 6 Unix machines, reads the results of each W call into Python, formats the text results to a SQL query, and then saves the result in a local database. So we can see here, see we're hitting 1, 2, 3, 1 through 6, all 6 Unix machines, and then saving the results. And we can see we saved 47 from Unix 1, 26 from Unix 2, 24 in Unix 3, etc., etc. And these guys got saved. Okay, we can just cancel out of that. We can see that these guys got saved into my database. It's called foo.db, so let's run SQLite 3. So now we can just quickly peek at some of the data that we just collected. I'm going to hide the Andrew IDs again to protect, the security of all my classmates. So we select star and login, and you can see here these are the people inside our database, and we can see we have their Andrew IDs, what they're working on, what's their foreground process rather, the time that this was collected, and the Unix machine that they were SSH'd into. So now that we're done with that, I've collected quite a lot of data, and from those I have created a couple of fun D3 charts that look pretty shallowly into some interesting queries that I quickly came up with, and here it is. So this is one day, I think it was the 26th of February. This is everyone SSH'd in into all 6 of the Unix machines over the course of one day. And you can see, sort of interestingly, that a lot of people are on actually around midnight. This is midnight, the middle is noon, and this is the next midnight. And you can see, interestingly, that people are kind of spending most of their time in the early mornings and then slowly waning off as they go to sleep and then picking back up after lunch. So that's sort of interesting. Because that we can look at what they're actually doing, we can filter down based on all the people that are currently using some sort of editor like Vim or Emacs, and we can basically look at the programming languages each person is working in over time, and which is sort of interesting also. You can see there's quite a lot of SML, a lot of C naught, C, some Java, and some Python. So that's interesting to see. Another something that came up really quickly is editors. So we can see what are the popular editors in CMU, and it turns out just to be basically just Vim. There's some people using Emacs, very few people using Nano, and I don't think I see anyone using Getit. But so then I decided that we can go a little bit creepier. We can actually write a query that basically tracks a person over a course of a time period, and basically see their activity on that Unix server over the course of a day. And you can see these are actually all the people that SSH'd into one of the 6 Unix machines over the course of a day. And obviously I've taken away their names, so it's doesn't reveal anything, but it's sort of interesting to see these are real life people. And then lastly, I made a bubble graph that just shows common file names that people are editing in their editors. So you can see a lot of people editing a readme.txt, some dict.cnot, parse.cnot, makefinger.sml. There's some of the smaller ones are more interesting, like some of the stuff you can see here. Some of the smaller stuff are more interesting because less people are obviously working on it. And this gets a little bit creepy, but it's still interesting to see some of the larger names, like what are people working on mostly in this period of time. And it would be interesting to see how these bubbles change in size over the courses of several weeks. So these are just some quick D3 projects, or D3 plots that I came up with, and that's all I have for now. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this.